What up, gamers? It's your girl, the Esoteric Squid, back to bring you tasty tidbits from ancient history. Today we're talking about Kathryn Reese-Taylor and Company's amazing paper from 2009, Warrior Queens Among the Classic Maya. Ooh. As always, sources and links are in the doobly-doo down below, but before we get started, don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button and hit the bell so you never miss updates from your favorite Cephala podcaster. Women get shit on a lot in history. That's right, here on Esoterica, we do learning with swears in. For a long time, anyone who didn't look like a cishet white European dude just got completely ignored, essentially.
If women aren't important now, how could they have possibly been important in ye olden days?
Well, joke's on you assholes. We've always been important. Yeah, that is cognac. The prominence of women in Maya culture, or at least the ideas surrounding it, especially as influential rulers and warriors, has been around seriously since at least 1991. I'm only citing Reese-Taylor's work in this video, but she's got some really interesting sources that I would recommend you hitting up. It can be super tricky to tell what's going on in Maya art because they weren't really fussy about dressing up as various deities for ceremonies and such. They didn't really care about, like, if you're a dude dressing up as the moon goddess, if you're a chick dressing up as a god of some sort, wasn't really an issue for them. Also, basically everyone wore skirts, so like how can we even tell if it's a girl if everyone's wearing a skirt, you know what I mean? Does this mean they didn't care about or perceive gender in the same way that we do? I don't know, I'm not a Maya scholar. Also, I don't like to get political. It's funny, because I don't mind getting political. Reese-Taylor and her crew suggest, based on a number of stelae found in Quintana Roo, Mexico, that there were at least 4 queens of significant renown in the 60 years between like 620 and 680 AD, including absolute boss bitch, I think her name is pronounced, I'm gonna look at the screen here to like make sure my pronunciation is like dead on, Ishkawilek? Maybe? I don't know. I tried to look a little bit into like Mayan syllabary and stuff, but ultimately the team suggests about a dozen different queens who were portrayed as warriors by like having them standing on captives across 4 different sites from like the end of the 7th to the beginning of the 8th centuries AD. After these suggestions are made, they go on to provide like a very high level primer of like inter-dynasty politics between the different city-states that existed in like Maya culture at that time. All in all, this article is a little bit opaque for people who aren't like really deep into Maya studies. It makes a couple of suppositions that seem kind of out of pocket to me, but I don't have the context to judge whether or not they're reasonable in like the sphere of study. For example, is it a really good guess that people who have nut skirts that go past their knees are definitely women in Maya art? I don't know. I didn't even know nut skirts were a thing. I wouldn't even describe it as a skirt. I would name it like a sarong or something. But like, again, I'm not a Maya cultural expert. But there is some really interesting stuff in here about gender expression, women as leaders, and HBICs in general, if you know what I mean. Reese-Taylor cites a bunch of very interesting looking articles that I intend to peruse at my leisure in the future. I'm going to list some of those down in the doobly-doo, but make sure you read the whole paper and check her bibliography for more details. Final impressions. Am I glad I read this? Yes, it was really interesting. Mostly I want to check out like the sites that this stuff happened at and see what I can suss out with like local historians and guides about these like super powerful women in the past. I also really want to know more about like the Maya conception of gender. I think it's really interesting to see how gender is perceived throughout time and in different cultures. Whew, that's all we have time for today. But before you go, make sure to leave a comment down below with your favorite historical lady crush. I would say mine is probably Hatshepsut, and it has been since I was like 9. I'm essentially completely in love with her. She was just the coolest pharaoh to ever exist, and I think I'm probably going to do a video on her in the future. What a legend. But anyways, if you need something to tide you over until next time, make sure to check out one of my previous videos here. And until then, I'll see you later. Bye.
But if women aren't important now, how could they possibly have been...